Okie doke. So after the short delay from our last build of the petite guy, which is currently being exported, I'm going to continue on with Julieta's mobile suit that I'm not going to bother trying to say the name of because every time I say it I fuck it up. Right, so where did we get to? So we've got the head and the body. God, this is the problem with doing it so long after the last one. So right arm. I'm going to try and keep these to 10 minutes each just to make them easier to export, because the last couple of times have just been a nightmare. I'm seriously considering buying like some kind of camera to just make the whole thing a bit easier, but anyway, you don't want to hear about that, it's pretty boring. Cool, so B14. Camera's quite close today, so I'm trying to make sure you guys can see what I'm doing. You folks. B14, so that's ball type. Not to get too much into production, but I'm trying a headset today. It's just like a set of Bluetooth headphones that I use with a microphone on them, just to see if I can get the audio a bit more. Well, because before it was almost mono, because it was the way the phone that I'm using to record sits, is that it sits in a like a 90-degree angle to the way I am, so yeah, you just get sort of like the right channel or whatever. Oh yeah, and one thing I did after my last build is I washed these. So it said on the back of the box for them that you could clean them by just running them under water, and I was like, that sounds like fucking the dumbest thing I've ever read. But I tried it out. It was actually more for this grey one than this other one because this doesn't seem to get that dusty. But yeah, it works really well. Pleasantly surprised. So there you go. Another tick in the box for the ultimate modelling products, sand and stick things. Yeah. Definitely a lot better than those sand and sticks that I started off with. These guys here, because they're just too rigid to do anything with. I mean, to be fair, I'm only using like 2 of the 5 that came with it, but you know, better that than nothing. It's got a little spray bottle that I use for my potted plant, but also is quite handy for just getting some of the dust, like after you've done some sanding off of bits. So you can still see a little white mark there. Well, maybe you can't, but I can. But sometimes it's just, you know, the shavings or whatever. Right, let's keep going. B5. B5. Whoa. Look at that. Alright, cool. Is that done? I think these parts are going to be mostly internal, so I'm not going to over egg it. And I'm going to, yeah, I already said that. B1. So, since the last time I've recorded, I've played Wolfenstein, the new one, the new Colossus. And I have to say, it's a very, very good game. Maybe one of my favourite games so far this year. It's a weird one because the gameplay itself isn't fantastic. Like it can be quite hard and punishing at times. And the one thing that it does do that I really wish it didn't is that it doesn't really tell you when you're about to die. So it's a shooter, you're running around shooting people and they're shooting back, obviously. And sometimes you'll just die and you'll be like, what happened there? And you'll invariably not have any health left, but it doesn't do any of the vignetting that most games do, where it sort of gives you jam around the screen to let you know you're about to cark it. But yeah, other than that, the story is just wow, fantastic. Like it's not a particularly grounded story, like it's not particularly realistic or anything like that. It's insane, but it's mental in a way I can get behind. So yeah, I'm not going to talk too much about it because it is what it is, but definitely worth a throw if you've got some time. So I think I've got the right parts. B5 and B1, but they don't seem to go together the way that it says. So that part goes like that, but it doesn't because it's the wrong way around. Have a B5. Shit, now I've cut out B6. Right. Okay. I suppose I'll better cut out B5 then, because I've also cut out the wrong part here. Yeah, I've cut out 1 and 6, so I need to cut out. Yeah. Okay. Well, at least I realised the mistake before I did anything that wasn't undoable. Right, so just leave that on the bit of paper where it is. Okay. Yeah, so that now fits together in a way that's meant to, which is nice. Just gonna clean this bit up a little bit. And now, because I'm doubting everything, I'm going to check. Yeah, B14 is just 2 parts that are exactly the same. So that goes on this way and then that way, like that. Cool. Right, B9 and B38. That one kind of tore off a little bit, which is never good. So yeah, I don't know if you can see here all the white crap, and then if I go give it a wee spritz, just takes all that stuff off. Alright, so that's B9, B38. The thing that I like about these sanding things is a lot of the other tools you feel like you use the thing for about, you know, a couple of parts and then that's it done. You have to then go and cut out another bit, and you know, the sanding sponges specifically, just felt like you spend more time messing around with the sponge than actually sanding with it, which makes a frustrating job even that bit more hard. These guys go together like that. Yep. Right, now some external parts. So A to 31, 31, that guy there, and A2, 22. So these two. Uh, 31 and 22. Tempting to sand the panel line away there. I don't know if I did a particularly good job actually. Oh well. Go. Bro. Yeah, I've got some more models to build, so I won't be short for stuff to actually build in the near future. So yeah, I should expect some more videos when I get around to it. We'll wait just now. We're at 18 minutes, so I'm gonna just we're back on, right? So that goes in like that, facing up the way. It looks weird. And then A22 goes across the top. And then I need A1. Where's A1? A110, so this big panel here. Oh man, this green plastic hates being cut. Chopped off quite a big part there, so I'm going to see if I can find one of the coarser sponges. If I can figure out where the fuck I left them. Sure, not there. Sorry, again, being a bit quiet. I'm just getting lost in sand in here. Rubbing stuff, as you can see. I kind of wish I did enjoy it more, because I would get way more out of this if I was like, oh, sanding's the best thing. But I just don't love it. I think half of it is because it's actually pretty boring, and the other half is because I'm not very good at it, so. It's like anything, you know, sometimes you have to go through some rubbish stuff that you don't actually like to get to the good part. Oh man, this green plastic hates being cut and hates being sanded, so it's a real win-win. That looks alright. So, this goes on to that side. Let's see if putting a bit of water on it makes it look better, but I mean, it does definitely look a bit better after you get all the dust out of it, but it's still quite noticeable, like this little guy here. I don't know if you can see it. Oh, okay. C'est la vie. Right, now looks like the kind of wrist part here, so A2 32. Look at all the plastic on there already. I think that maybe a circular motion helps, I don't know. Just trying it out. Right, cool. What else have I been doing? Oh yeah, so I started watching a new TV show called The Good Place, which sounds shit. Like when someone describes it to you, it's like, oh, someone goes to heaven, and then they find out that it's a case of mistaken identity and they're not meant to be in heaven and stuff like that. But it's a really, really good show. It takes what is probably one of the worst premises I've ever heard of and just, wow, just goes places. Like it's constantly like parodying like situation comedies or like different tropes and stuff like that. Like it's difficult to describe without actually spoiling it, but it's like it's surprisingly high concept and interesting. Like the way that it messes with it. And like it also just is so unexpected sometimes. Like they'll go and they'll do something to the story, and you're like, wow, I wouldn't expect you to do that, to just burn through. You know, it's hard to describe. So something there's a part of it where, you know, they could have easily just stopped there, and if it was any other show like a you know, one of these HBO shows like Game of Thrones or Westworld or something like that, they would have stopped at this part and just, you know, run through the steps slowly and kind of taking you through it. But it just compresses all that stuff down into like, well, it effectively happens in one episode, and you're like, wow, like you guys aren't gonna just, you know, parcel this out bit by bit. Like you're happy to like batter through stuff quickly if it means you can get to the next thing. It's just the kind of confidence from the writers to say like, no, we're not going to waste time here. Because a lot of your HBO shows, you feel like, you guys are just sort of like almost buying time, like spinning your wheels a bit so you can, you know, write some more stuff or whatever it is, whatever the problem is that you're trying to bash your head against. You're like, oh, well, this is obviously an episode where they didn't have anything and they were just like, oh, we need to stretch this stuff out, and this this doesn't do any of that. I mean, and it's a comedy as well. It's genuinely really funny. It's got Ted Danson in it, who you've probably not seen in anything since Cheers, but he's fantastic. It has the guy who plays Chidi, which is one of the characters. He's brilliant. I've never seen him in anything before. And I think the lady who was in Veronica Mars, which I have never watched, but I mean, lots of people seem to think it's a fantastic show. I actually sort of, by virtue of watching this, makes me want to go back and watch Veronica Mars, but I probably won't. So yeah, no, I'd be desperate to have somebody else to talk to about it, because me and Louise have watched it and I thought it was great. I think Louise kind of likes it a bit more on a surface level, but it's just a brilliant show. So there's only two seasons of it out at the moment. Well, actually no, only one complete season, and the second season is like currently being put out via, well, there's only 1.5 seasons available on Netflix just now. I don't know if the second season's aired in America and it's just like a licensing thing, but yeah, it's great. It's absolutely fantastic. It's one of the best shows that I've seen all year. Probably second only to Red Dwarf in my opinion, which I should probably talk about as well. I'm a massive Red Dwarf fan, like always have been. One of the abiding memories of my sort of late teens, early 20s was when they were doing the DVD releases. So every 6 months there'd be like a new season of Red Dwarf released on DVD. And it would be, you know, buy the DVD, sit and watch all the special features. It's when people, you know, I don't know if people still do this actually, maybe it's just me that fell off, but sit and watch the special features for a DVD and just watch the entire thing. But yeah, no, absolutely brilliant. Right, just gonna stop and start again. Aye, so yeah, the new season of Red Dwarf has been absolutely amazing. It's gone back to the sort of more formulaic approach where, you know, there's a thing that happens that week, and then you're back to the sort of status quo by the end, which I'm really surprised, but people seem to really be like railing against that as if it's not a viable way to make a television show in this day and age. But I think it's totally fine, you know. I actually quite enjoy it, like the likes of a Star Trek or something like that, you know, like an older Star Trek, like what do you call it, Next Gen or something. Those shows, you know, did the formulaic monster of the week or situation of the week approach, and it's what makes them like completely watchable to this day. Like it's not like you have to watch, you know, 10 series to get the entire arc. You just watch that one episode and it's the story's told well enough to where in one episode you can get a satisfying resolution and everything, you know, usually returns to the status quo or whatever, you know, or you learn a bit more about the characters, but like ultimately everything's still sort of where you started off. I don't really see that as a detriment, the way that most television viewers see it now. I mean, don't get me wrong, I've enjoyed like a Game of Thrones or some of the HBO stuff, like the whatchamacallit, what's that one, Westworld. But I don't think that formulaic sort of the formulaic approach is that bad, you know. Oh, sorry, I'm just going to have to concentrate while I figure out which way this hand goes in. Yeah, like this, I guess. Cool. Oh, I really don't like the way this green plastic sort of looks. You really get it. Really highlights the kind of chop points. Well, all right. So that's the left arm completed. Oh, meant to be something on here. It looks like there should be a bit on there. Right, let's look. Well, it'd be handy if it ever showed the arm in this position rather than it's always this way. I guess not. Maybe it's an attach point for stuff later on. Let's. Yeah. So, don't know if you can see there, but it's this area purposely left blank. Man, there's a lot of stuff to do in this kit. It's a cool kit. I like ones with lots of attachments and extra bits to go on at the end. Those are always fun to build because you've already built the model at that point, and you're just from there on in it's all gravy. But I've also been in situations where those little bits at the end just don't attach very well, like they constantly fall off, which can be quite frustrating as well. But we will see how that goes. So this is the right arm. Yep. Okay. Sweet. What I think I'm going to do now is build the left arm. God, that hand part doesn't stay on very well. Like it doesn't attach very solidly. What I'll do is I'll build the left arm and then I'll just cut to that, because I don't think watching me build the second arm is going to be particularly interesting, because I'm just going to do the same thing. Mostly the reason I'm doing it is because I've accidentally cut out this bit now, so I run the risk of losing it if I don't build it right now. Alright, I'll catch you guys in a minute. Okay, doke. So I've finished the second arm, as you can see. I'm still not crazy about how these hand parts attach. Like, I don't really need to apply too much pressure to pop them off, but we'll see once the final model is built. It's not a problem that I've seen with other models, so it's a wee bit disappointing. I've also gone in, and you might not be able to see it, I've applied a little bit of Gundam marker to the white parts on the edges of this green plastic, because they were really noticeable. The white on green made it pretty easy to see where I'd not done a great job of sanding, so we'll see how that goes. Cool. Next time we'll do some feet, maybe do legs. I'll probably do the same thing again where I do one leg and then just skip the second one, but that's for next time. Alright, thanks for watching. Any comments, leave them below and I'll definitely read them. I'm reading everything just now, and if you have any feedback, let me know. Alright, cheers, bye for now.